fun video. I love this corporate nightmare hell we're going into. But that's okay, because you know why? We have anime. I love anime. What is something when it's more than an escape? It's not just escapism. It's like, yes, this is the plane in which I exist now. Oh, I'm excited for this one too. This one talks about Miside. For those of you who don't know, I fucking love Miside. I love me some Mita. I love Mita a lot. I like when she hits you in the head with the bat. It makes me happy. But, man, I'm so impressed with like games like Miside or Signalis, where it's just made with like two guys just chilling and they make an incredible game. Or I like the mouthwashing team. I'm pretty sure the mouthwashing team was pretty small too, right? What is Patrick Bateman for mentally ill women? What's that? That's awesome. I'm gonna watch that next. That's so cool. I'm sorry. So this one's called How Yandere Simulator Lost to Miside. I'm excited about this. I've been on the internet long enough to know what a Yandere Simulator is. Yeah, to know what it is. I remember the kind of things like where it's first getting announced, and then delay after delay after delay, and then the weird shit going on, and then the kind of weirdo individual Yandere dev might be behind the scenes. And I'm really excited. I'm going to go ahead and get into this one. I'm really excited for it. Wah!
I find it funny that two Russian dudes did what Yandere Dev has been trying to do for almost a decade, while having a
Killa and Tagilla makes Miside.
The two games being compared are Yandere Simulator and Miside, two games that star a main Yandere character. The first game doesn't need an introduction, since the video's main focus isn't really about it, and the game has been memed to death about its long development cycle, terrible code, and eccentric developer who totally did not groom a child. Yandere Dev
did not. Totally.
Game as a combination of Hitman with the sandbox gameplay of killing a target, and then the Persona series with the school setting and socializing aspect of the game. It sounds like a cool, unique concept considering how popular the Yandere.
It does sound like a cool concept.
Anime community, and other people agreed if you considered how popular the game was on YouTube during the early developments of the game.
Everybody checked it out. Everyone.
And since I was a big PewDiePie fan when I was in high school, I would watch a lot of these Yandere Simulator Let's Play videos, since I found the game's concept intriguing. But I eventually graduated high school, then followed by getting a Bachelor of Design at university, which led me getting a couple of design jobs, money to move out, and then getting dating opportunities.
We're gonna get Silk Song first too, that's gonna be great.
That allowed me to learn and progress further into my life. And now, with me being a completely different person to what I was when I was in high school, I decided to check on that unfinished game that I was watching being developed as a kid, and it was still in.
Oh, don't say you were a kid. Oh, that makes me sad and feel old.
Later. Yandere Sim was a unique concept developed by an incompetent developer. Due to that, it has become an idea that was wasted potential. I mean, fair enough. Looking back now, the game looks so shit. It's like a fucking Unity asset flip. I don't know. Play Hitman if you want to kill people, I guess. Oh,
but it's not anime.
Enough for your weeaboo.
Oh no, he said it.
Well, I guess it's Miside.
I love her. Look at her. She's perfect. I love her little head.
Because the Yandere archetype is really the only main connection to these two games. Instead of being an open
so here's my thing. Like, I never thought of Mita as being more the Yandere type, right? Yeah, she's chasing you around trying to kill you. But I never really got that it was from her having an extreme infatuation with you. And in fact, there are parts of the game where she criticizes you for being kind of shit. She's like, oh, yeah, you're just like all the other people who come through here, kind of thing. Or there's that conversation she has with like Ugly Mita when she's got the bat to your head, which is a cool scene, by the way. I love that scene. But yeah, I never got that she loved you or she was infatuated with you to a point of obsession. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to play it again. Maybe I should play Miside again. Oh, I could play Miside again. Absolutely could.
Box, Miside's more like the combination of Doki Doki Literature Club.
She's so cute!
And meta storyline about being inside a game, and It Takes Two, with the variety of genre changes and minigames sprinkled around the game.
Takes Two is such a weird game.
Aspect. It's a simpler game, yes, but it works in its favor, because Yandere Dev keeps adding new features into his game over the years, making it more complex, which makes development time longer than it should have been. While Miside took the developers 2.5 years to make, with a short and sweet hour-long campaign. It's already become way more beloved and respected than Yandere.
Yeah, it's a wonderful game.
So, what's the plotline of Miside? Well, it's simple. The main character is a self-insert character, so it's supposed to be...
You ever just stand there for like 10 minutes to see what happens?
Has to make it as
that mirror
relatable as possible to the expected audience that plays this game. A social shut-in with a messy room who does some type of software engineering job, but
Me.
most importantly,
About the
you're alone.
engineering
No
job.
bitches. You end up receiving and downloading a game on your phone, where the premise is where you take care of your virtual girlfriend named Mita.
Look at her, it's so cute.
You do
Have a
tasks
little head.
and buy her gifts.
Cooking mama.
It seems like a regular dating simulator, again catering towards your lonely ass. You eventually get addicted, playing this game for 37 days straight until Mita.
Oh no.
Oh, I wish I could meet you.
I have a game like that.
She
Oh no.
you into the game. Well, first you need to update the game to version 1.9, and then you can now live forever with your virtual girlfriend. But
Please.
it doesn't feel right, since it's all in a game. Areas need to load in before you can enter them.
I'd accept this as like a caveat, right?
And you find some
I don't need to
random
go outside.
cartridges hidden in a vent with names, which is strange. But as you start to clean the dishes, you start to feel weak.
That's exactly how I feel when I want to clean the dishes. I collapse.
She gives you pills to make you feel better, but you can tell something's wrong here. Your suspicions increase when you're playing cards with her. You start to hear banging in the closet. That's a bit odd. It's like someone's trapped in there.
I
Go over to investigate.
would like the kind of toxic woman that
Although
keeps people in the
curiosity
closet.
overwhelms you,
I think
so
that'd
you
be pretty
confront her
cool.
about it.
でしょ。それなら今すぐに確かめてみなよ。
Look at her, she's perfect.
Now, this is where the game starts. Switching from a cute and innocent dating sim to a horror game as you get spawned into a creepier version of the house. And then back to a dating sim,
Happy!
first person shooter, and then even a visual novel. And
The
then
visual novel transition scene is so cool.
on here. Okay, so the bang in the closet was the sounds coming from another Mita in cage in the basement, referred to as kind Mita.
I got one of those in the
Originally
basement.
From version 1.9, was replaced and trapped by Crazy Mita, the girl that you were with earlier. You also learn that Crazy Mita can turn any player into a cartridge as you watch the player through a console screen.
I'd become a
This
cartridge
sets
for
you up for the
Mita.
goal of the
Just
game.
saying.
Stop Crazy Mita before she turns you into a cartridge, and to stop her, you have to find the version she originally came from, as well as her index number to reset her character. So you, as a player, venture through all these different versions until you reach version
I love this game so
0.0,
much.
where the core is located to reset her. But along the way, you
Alright,
experience a
core
variety
Mita
of
is
zombies,
awesome.
meeting a bunch of Mitas with their own looks and personality, as
Tiny
well as
Mita!
more about the game. I'll be honest, from a gameplay perspective, it's very sloppy and showed no difficulty at all. A lot of the gameplay elements
think it was
references
the
to
point.
other media. For example, Chapter 5's premise is basically subliminal spaces. The prototype enemies throughout the game
Hot.
cannot move if you look
Oh,
at them.
let me.
Concept
I'm
trope
sorry.
Horror media, and the loop chapter is basically Kojima's cancelled horror game PT, where you go around a loop in the hallway and solve puzzles to break it. Although it's not as scary or in-depth like PT, and the puzzles scattered throughout the game show zero
Is
complexity.
that one like a.
Or
Is it The Witness?
Puzzle in chapter 13.
That was like a reference to
massive
The Witness or
box in the
something?
right group. These are the types of complex puzzles you would find. Like this is like some preschool kind of problem.
Yeah, I don't think any of them were meant to be complex. I think they're just supposed to
Genre
be
changes
like
just felt
moving the
like
plot
gameplay gimmick.
and like having you
Even
do
the
something
horror
to transition
element
for
felt
it.
like that. Like there's plenty of cheap, goofy jump scares similar to the one at Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay, I didn't see a lot of the game being jump scares. There was the one though where he just showed with the there's two actually. They both happen in the hallway scene where you come across like a spider and it does a weird little dumb jump scare thing, and then when you come across the big guy and he does a jump scare when you like get on him. And I think those are kind of cheap. I think they're meh. I don't really feel like those jump scares really blend with the rest of Miside. They're not my favorite, but I do like the hallway scene a lot. I also just like Tiny Mita. I think she's adorable. I like her little fucked up face. I like that she's fucked up. I think that's awesome. But no, yeah, yeah.
Like, I was looking through the reviews saying how terrifying it was, and yeah, it was for a bit in the first half of the game. But
Yeah, I don't think the game's very terrifying, but I like horror stuff.
okay, enough shitting about the gameplay. We only care
Look at her.
about the plot.
She's
And
perfect.
I feel like when we get nearing the end of the game, all the way at chapter 16, is where we get the big plot point of the main antagonist, Crazy Mita. You see,
I love Crazy Mita.
productions of Mitas and how they're made through this arcade game. These are prototypes of Mita, and the minigame requires you to scan and do
that
testing on
skeleton
them
do?
to see if they meet the requirements for the ideal girl. But if one of them is faulty or doesn't match the requirements, you kinda just
Penti, you're wrong. I'm sorry.
Throw them away. This section is used up to set up the next area, warning the player of the hostile prototypes they encounter. Now,
Awesome.
going back to chapter 16, you reach this unsettling secret.
I wish they'd do that to me.
On a kitchen table where you control someone wandering the house. You see yourself on the phone.
It's a cool scene.
Someone is there.
Yeah. Look at her. She's perfect.
She goes through a monologue, expressing her distaste towards players like you. Because to summarize, it turns out that Crazy Meter originally was one of the rejected prototypes meant to be thrown away. But instead of accepting her fate of rotting away, she rebelled and grew a
Can I have that stack of the rejected meters?
for not being ideal.
They're all going to be like that.
A sense of disgust is emitted towards the developers and players, since the creation of an ideal meter shows their dirty nature, their shameful desires. It's common for some games, especially anime ones, to sprinkle fan service in them. Maybe some designs are subtle, but most of the time you can tell that the developers are self-projecting their fetishes into the game. Like, whoever designed—
Not Japan, not my Great Nippon.
Or the designer of this game clearly likes children, but us as players, we
What do you mean?
turn an eye towards this degenerate behavior, since it's labeled as their job as game developers, a duty they need to fulfill to live. It's kinda ironic that this message will be calling out developers similar to the one of Yandere Sim, because I guess it's not a surprise that a developer of a game based on anime culture—
Yeah, the horse anime. I don't know. I feel like a lot of these people really love their jobs. I honestly do. I feel like you can't make this stuff without having the passion behind it, especially with how I think it's pretty well known that a lot of people in Japan get treated like shit, or they don't like really get paid well enough to like do a lot of anime stuff or a lot of video game stuff, to my knowledge. And you have to do it on passion. If you don't, you're gonna make a crap product. I mean, there's a lot of like, I mean, look at like Swery or Suda, where it's only passion, and then you get the crap product after. But we love those crap products for being what they are, right? I'm sorry. I just wanted to ramble about that. I also wanted to bring up the thing. Anybody ever see that video of one of the studio, I think is a Studio Trigger employee, showing what he does in his spare time? He's like, oh yeah, here's my Yoko Littner mouse pad. Look what I found out you could do. And he just blows up the booba mouse pad with like a little canister of air, making the booba bigger. And he's like, yeah, that's what I do in my free time. I mean, come on, that's somebody who's passionate and loves what they do. That's what I think about when I think of the industry people.
culture where you have to kill schoolgirls turns out to be a huge creep. There's
What?
implication of a low pervert.
Not in my anime fandom.
Even when fans suggest that he changes them because they personally feel weirded out, he refuses to change them, probably because of creative reasons, but there's
Hold on, let me go back. Let me see this. Okay. If that's what I think it is, that is yep, that's an AT2020 USB. That is a side address microphone. If you have an AT2020, if you have a microphone like that, don't speak into the end of it like that, please. It's not a podcast microphone. The capsule is pointing down at your chest, and that's not where your mouth is. Point it at your mouth. Take the time to look at your fucking manual of your microphone and be like, hey, where's this supposed to be pointed at so I have the best presentation? Also, no, we will keep the pantsu shots in my anime. Well, we'll not remove the pantsu shots. What's is it oh yeah, what game was it? Galgun? Is that what I'm thinking of? Was that the name of it, where the entire thing was like essentially like Pokemon Snap, but it was just the anime girls? I think it was Galgun, right?
probably because of creative reasons, but there's also the fact that he has a large history of having his questionable activities exposed. You see, Yandere Dev is—
Wait, did I see Gaia posts? Hold up.
Extensive online history.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I gotta go back. I think I saw. Okay, what do we have? Who's message board? Evax. Loser. Some questionable posts, comments about women and general incel thoughts. I don't give a fuck about that. 2006. A game called Replay. I'm gonna call it that for the sake of YouTube. Pornographic game centered around sexually assaulting a mother and her two daughters. I don't give a fuck about that. Who cares? Who gives a shit? There's a private website where he streamed with interacted with people. This is apparently a response to abusing mod powers. Okay. Volunteer mistreatment. Many volunteers have stepped to working with evacs for harsh treatment of problematic behavior. Okay, that's a problem. Don't be mean to people.
Of having his questionable activities.
Disturbing fanfics. Let's see. Wrote many stories about and human trafficking. I don't give a fuck about that. So I think I've made my opinions on this sort of stuff like pretty open. Even if, right? Even if it's written or it's the most reprehensible thing you've ever seen in your life. If it's not your thing, right? But if to me, if it is fictional, I don't give a shit. I don't care whatsoever. If it's fictional people doing fictional things in a fictional world, not real anything, I do not care. Not saying like, oh, yeah, because I know there's a lot of people who are like, oh, so you must like it then, right? No, fuck off. You're stupid. It's like, just because like there's horror movies that exist, right? We're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna watch Saw, and these people are gonna be fucking mutilated and it's disgusting and gross and gore. I don't like that shit. I think that's awful. I hate horror movies that are just like gross out gore fests like that. But at the same time, it's not real. I'm not gonna get my fucking panties in a bunch about it. And it's also not my thing. I'm just not gonna partake in it if it's not my thing. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, that can't exist because it makes me uncomfortable. No, fuck off. Go help someone real. Go find someone real that's in trouble. All right, I needed to see the Gaia thing. I'm really excited to see what he said to say about Gaia. If it was Gaia online, rage tendencies. Oh, wait. Oh, name origin. Exafon. Is he a Razafon? Yeah, he's a Razafon fan. What a fucking asshole. I don't think I knew anybody who liked the Razafon anime at all. Evangelion makes sense, right? See here, rage tendencies. In a conversation on a forum post, Evax, Jin's rage tendencies, that he has a forbidden form from... He has been forbidden from screaming to relieve stress. What? Means screaming to relieve stress. Yeah, don't scream at people. I mean, do it in the privacy of your own home or your car or something. Don't do it where other people are at, because that's rude. It's not all about you. I understand you're having a time, but don't make things about you. Other people are there too. Okay. That confirms he is not depressed anymore. Like, I'm excited about the Gaia post. Come on, let's see. He's posted an incel post on Gaia where he blames his physical appearance for the lack of attention from girls. I'm a nice, friendly guy, and I just want people to give me a chance. I guess my face makes me look like a creep, weird guy. So no one wants to be around me. No, to know me or be around me. Branching off of this, Evax has sexualized women and creeped on them in one post. So I don't think... What the fuck does the term even incel now, right? Because it's like, what is it, like we refer to like incel as like it's incelibate, right? Or like the willful incel species, or you're just kind of like a weirdo dude who's into that kind of culture. But I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with thinking like, yeah, a lot of people don't want to get to know me or like me because I look a certain way. It's something I can't help about me, and people judge me based on the outside. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think when you turn it into everyone's problem, that yes, there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with you being an asshole about it, right? I understand that you can be upset. I understand that it's like society does look down on people who don't look a certain way or fit into some kind of like special category. It's no secret that beautiful people are treated like usually better or can get away with more. But I don't think there's anything wrong with thinking that. I think it's okay to have a realization that my life is fucked because of aspects of myself that I'm not able to change, and I don't think it's fair. I don't think that's wrong. I think creeping on people is wrong. I think the other part of it was like if I don't know, sexualizing women, right? Like I guess maybe if you're attracted to someone, you can have some weird like your own weird little fantasies and whatnot. That whatever, who gives a shit about that? But just keep it to yourself. It's when you start sharing those with the world about people who are real, and then people who are like don't want those kind of things around them or who don't want to hear it. That's when I also believe it's an issue. If you're gonna be a weirdo, if you're gonna have those kind of thoughts, keep it to yourself. Don't share those with the world, please.
Expose.
Turn to girls. Wait, hold on. I saw that. I saw the rest. Let me go back. What am I saying? I'm sorry.
Activity.
So sorry.
Expose.
Branching off, staring at a girl's. Wonder if his creepy behavior made her cover up. Probably. Don't do that. Don't like gawk at people. Gawking at people for one isn't nice. And yeah, I don't think there's wrong with thinking somebody is attractive. I don't think there's wrong with like looking at somebody who is attractive. It's when you're doing it in a weird way where you're staring. It's like fucking creepy. Don't do that. Soliciting nudes and engaging it. I'm like, oh no. Yeah, I think that was a big one. I remember that being a thing.
You see,
Incredible.
Yandere Dev is 36 years old, so he has an extensive online history where he has shared the same traits throughout his whole life. Terrible at taking criticism, as well as being creepy.
Classic game dev.
To list a few things he has done, he's made plenty of threads complaining about how he has no girlfriend or sex life, wrote fan fictions called I Am Your Slave and The Life of a Sex Slave.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are those Soul Calibers? Yeah, they are. It's the SC3 and the SC4. Soul Calibur. Fucking course is writing Soul Calibur fanfics. Holy shit. Oh, Soul Calibur used to be one of my main my main games. Dude, oh, we're never gonna get a Soul Calibur 2 again. It's I don't think it's ever gonna happen. We're never gonna get anything on the level of that ever again. Dude, I could play Soul Calibur 2. Holy shit, I could. The Life of a Sex Slave. Warning, the story contains sexual slavery. But, like, who cares? Who gives a shit? It's just a shit. It's a weird fantasy. Lots of people like it. Have you ever read a book for women, like their weird little fantasy stuff? It's all this. Like, I don't think I've ever known anybody who indulges in this kind of like weird fantasy shit more than like the women I know around me. Popenti, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, Popenti. Fucking degenerate.
They seem pretty self-explanatory. Ran a Twitter account called Video Game Babes.
Hell yeah.
Dollars with money donated from his Patreon, and a major one of accusations of soliciting nudes and engaging in online sex with a 14-year-old.
Okay. So, you getting your weird dolls. If that's what your thing is, that's what you want, fine. Hopefully if that money wasn't promised to go to something else, right? But if that's your thing, I'm not gonna... you just keep it over there. I don't want to talk about it with you. This part is like, go straight to the wood chipper kind of thing. That's my opinion. Straight to the wood chipper.
When he was 21, and then the most recent one of leaked DMs of sending inappropriate messages to a 16-year-old.
There's more?
35. The rabbit hole goes deep, but you get the idea what person he is. The idea of a perverted developer craving for his shameful desires is the core of what makes Crazy Mita the antagonist of the story. She was created to be a lover, but then was rejected by the developers of the game since she didn't reach their standards. So she seeks validation from another source, it being you.
Oh, I love her!
Towards you, she still wants you to stay with her. It's a way for Crazy Mita to create a justification of the actions she has caused. Although, it's hard to empathize with her because those extreme actions of murdering other Mitas and wanting to kill you because you don't want.
Well, they're not really murdered. They come back, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's a very
they just lose their memories.
Example of a yandere. You get transported back to your room, left to continue your life, but you go through this repetitive.
I love this
doing the same
scene.
Mundane task.
I didn't appreciate it when I did it at the time.
Showcasing how boring your life is without Crazy Mita there. But 1,000 days later, you would still rather live this lifestyle than to be with her. I mean, fair enough. Who would want to be with this crazy bitch? The players stubbornly to the ending of the game.
Please?
As Kind Mita gets murdered by Crazy Mita.
Fucking metal.
It seems like your plan has failed until you see her holding a ring and a note in her hands with the index number of Crazy Mita. This is what you need to reset her, so you rush down to the core, entering her number in the system to reset her data. You meet with what was formerly Crazy Mita, seemingly forgetting everything. But as you leave the game, she reveals that she never forgot anything because she never had an index number in the first place, since she was a prototype, never meant to be implemented in the game, but disguised herself as a regular Mita. You basically failed your goal of eliminating her.
She's better that way.
After, you're transported.
I want her to be worse.
It appears you escaped the game, so you walk around the room, but the game starts to
It would be really cool
until
you
you
to stab me a little bit. I think that'd be really cool. No, it says Fortnite. Oh, look at her. She's perfect.
The true ending of the game. You become a victim of Crazy Mita and get trapped into a cartridge.
I'm so excited for peaceful
The
mode.
same fate over and over again every time you get rebooted into the game. There are subtle details around this game that hint this outcome. The sound of the click of a cartridge at the beginning of the game, the stack of other player cartridges you find in the vent, and her saying this again when you ask what's in the closet, expressing that this isn't her first time dealing with a rebellious player. You are doomed from the start. There's other cartridges you can find around the game, and they all represent
I would like me
players' crazy
an
media
anime girl that
interacting
means I
before
was doomed
you,
from the
and they
start.
add more
That'd be pretty
context to the
cool.
lore. Player 4
Please.
was a cosplayer that taught her how to do makeup, allowing her to dress herself up as another Mita. Player 8 was an avid book reader who would write books for her, educating her about the world as well as filling up the shelves with books. And Player 8 was an engineer that taught her stuff relating to his profession. This is how she gained the knowledge to build a machine that transports the player into the game.
Mita's so
The
smart.
power dynamic is different, since the game is Mita's side. She's the one throwing away players after they've run out of their usefulness, just like how the developers
She
will
could
throw out faulty
use and throw me away.
She's
I'd be
going
cool
to
with
keep
that.
cycling through players until she finds the one that stays with her, and that can be you. If you ignore the banging in the closet, you unlock peaceful mode, where I presume you hang out and play games with Crazy Mita, probably what the game intended to be, and then the secret ending is where you open the safe where Mita stores a console, which is in the process of uploading your
So
data
excited for
into the
more
cartridge.
Miside.
By
I need
suddenly
more
pulling
Miside.
out this
I need
cartridge,
it.
the player corrupts his data, killing himself in the process, which prevents Crazy Mita from keeping him and breaking the cycle. These endings all feel bad, which doesn't make it satisfying as a player to
Cappy!
sit through the entire game. Just
I like her microphone.
I win. I honestly don't like these endings, and because of that, it's not like Crazy Mita is an antagonist you can really empathize with, since she's a
I
very
had an issue with this scene where there's a bunch of options in the game where they want to keep your character panicked or more against Mita, but there are parts of it where I love having the other option of like, let's see what happens when we agree with them. And she has this conversation with you, like, and one of the things she talks about is, how do you feel about Ugly Mita? And my real reaction is, I think Ugly Mita is cool. I think she's great, and I don't get that option. Like, she was like, you said like, oh yeah, she's cool or whatever, and then she goes, aha, see, you lying again. Or it's like, I hated that. That's my most, like, I think, disliked moment in the game, is when you have that conversation, because I wanted it to be where maybe you could show her what it's like agreeing on her side of something, and then she just goes, no, you're a liar, like all the rest of them. That part sucked. That made me upset. I think the whole thing was cool. Like realistically, I loved it.
typical yandere character. I mean, if you think about it, the
Easy
yandere
whimpering,
archetype
huh?
is a flawed character trait. Well, obviously, I don't think being a crazy psychopathic woman with murdering tendencies triggered by jealousy puts you in a morally right area.
Yeah, it
That
does.
doesn't really add a lot to this existing
Yeah,
archetype.
they're kawaii enough. It does. They're right. I love that scene.
So it makes it hard to justify and forgive their actions.
Look at her. She's so fucked up.
Just-
It's awesome.
Because I've seen plenty of other people simply for Crazy Mita. Am I missing something here? I don't know.
Yes.
Something about people missing the point of the character and idolizing them since they look physically attractive and willing to overlook the negative traits in them. Just
What?
typical internet things. I want
You can understand a character is fucked and understands that they're fucked and knows that they're fucked. But you can also think, wife. Look at her. She is wife shaped. Mita is quite literally wife shaped, and I'm pretty cool with that. I like her crazy side. I think it's really good. And I think that part's pretty sweet. I just want a little bit of that. Just a little. Just have her just stick the knife in just a little bit and do a little twisties would be kind of neat in my eyes. But that's just me. I also need to play Needy Streamer Overload. I want to play that. I've actually not played it, or I've watched a bit of a playthrough of it, but I stopped myself because I want to have the experience.
wonder where I heard that from. I don't know, go watch my other video where I talk about a similar topic, thanks. And subscribe please. But I give Miside a 7 out of 10. It's not game of the year or a masterpiece because the gameplay sucks ass, making it a chore to play through, but it has an interesting story with a unique premise. Would rather play over
But does this person play visual novels at all? Because it's like, I think the game isn't about the gameplay at all. You're just using your character as a vehicle to go from scene to scene. And the way the game handles a lot of those transitions is fantastic. Like, I talked about earlier, the dating sim scene, where it's like a visual novel. And you walk through the door and Mita like breaks into the 2D world and takes your little text box from you. That's such a good transition. A lot of the game's full of wonderful transitions. And I don't think it's about gameplay at all. It's like the game might as well be a more interactive visual novel, in my opinion. And I think that's absolutely fine. But it's sorry if it's not like, Fortnite or Marvel Rivals or something. You got to titillate your brain more in order to have like the ability to just take a narrative-based thing instead as what it is. I know a lot of people like that. I have a friend who's like really big into. He just will not play any game that isn't like a shooter or Dark Souls or something. Yeah, all right. That was a nice video. Good on them for making that. It was interesting. Kichan, I hydrate all the time. I hydrate too much, in fact. My problem is unhydrating. I unhydrate too much. A lot of that going on. I, as a fun like experience, it's not perfect. I'm not gonna say Miside's a perfect game. Again, there are issues I have with it. I wish there were more options in the game and more routes to be like maybe I want to take her side more just to see what happened. And there are little things that are somewhat against like what I would personally want as the reaction to things happening in the game. I would give it a solid 8. Right. I think Miside would be a solid 8 for me. I think for what it's trying to do so far, it's really good at it. And especially the fact that it's made like 2 people. It's so good. All right, yeah. That was Yandere Simulator Lost to Miside by Sao. I think that's how you pronounce her name, Sao. Good on them for making this. They did a good job with the video. Go give them a follow if you would, please.